Everybody, we want to get started tonight as we are live here from the Cork and Brew down on the square at Liberty. Our first coaches show, our postgame show with head coach Jared Cruzy. How about them Cardinals, everybody? Are you excited about the win today?
We need to turn the mic speaker up.
And so we are going to talk to Jared Cruzy here in just a moment. I want to talk to Jeff Woods as well. I'm Rick Cole, the Director of Sports Broadcasting for the William Jewell College Sports Network. Coach, you're pretty excited about this. Obviously, the win, and it was an easy one, wasn't it?
Easy. I don't know about easy. I told the players this after the game that we made it a heck of a lot harder than it needed to be. But we had some help in doing that, unfortunately. And it's one of those things that you find out sometimes that you don't have control over everything. And it's one of those things today.
Tim Crone is here, Mark Morell is here as well, and our co-producer is Blake Terrence, who's from Blue Springs High School. Tim, I know you were pretty excited there down the stretch, both in a good and a bad way.
Yeah, at least I didn't say anything foul, which was good.
Not on the air.
But, I've told people many times, it's real simple. You look around this room and everybody's having a great time. I think the thing you want to remember, particularly the players in here, and I hope they listen to this, how do you feel when you win and how do you feel when you lose and how do you want to feel? And there's a great feeling no matter how you do it. You guys got the W day, so I think all Cardinal fans need a big round of applause.
We're going to have a couple of players come up here in a few minutes, coach as well, but we have some trivia for you. We want to do that, so let's start with the trivia here, and then we'll talk about the game after we get that done. And Coach Cruzy has a couple of trivia questions for you.
How about the first trip? This will be for, what do we got here? A free appetizer here. The first answer to come up here, first person to come up here with the right answer and tell Rick gets a free appetizer. The trivia question is, who was the winningest football coach ever at William Jewell? So whoever knows it.
Come on up.
No, I'm far from it.
All right, first tell me who your name is.
Hey, I'm John Ball. Jim Nelson.
That's your answer?
That's
Anybody
your
else have another answer?
Incorrect. Another answer, the winningest
That's a
coach.
good answer. He won a lot of games here. Anybody?
I can't believe nobody gets this one. Here we go. Tell me who you are.
Norm Patterson.
Norm Patterson.
You got the last name right.
That's the last name right.
Norris Patterson.
All right.
Norris
You came close.
Congratulations. That's Dylan Besser's mom. All right, how about one more, Coach?
This is a good one. Let's do this one for a T-shirt. This is a good one. And I've been talking to some people that are here. And
Where's my tech guy when I need him? Where'd you go, Brandon?
Okay, I'll talk really loud here. Some of you noticed that after a very questionable call by the officials at the end in the first half, that I may have literally shown them by laying on the ground what I thought happened. So the trivia question is, just how many times did I lay on the ground and mimic reaching across the goal line? That's the trivia question.
Come forward with your answer.
Just how many?
All right, tell me who you are.
I'm Pat Cruzy, and I said 3 times.
No.
That, unfortunately, is incorrect.
Got to come up with your answer.
Lisa, 2.
Incorrect. Sorry. All right, are players eligible for this?
Yeah, players are eligible.
NCAA?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come on. Again, tell us who you are.
Warren Freebert. I'm going to say 4.
4 is the correct answer.
4 is the correct answer.
Give him a GLPC t-shirt there.
The one that most people, there was 3 of them to officials. The one that most people missed was the one as I was going into halftime, and one of our alumni asked me, and for some reason I felt the need to show him as well. But it was 4. It was 4.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to introduce you to Jeff Woods, who is our host here at the Cork and Brew, the owner. The appetizers, what do they get for winning the appetizer prize?
Well, we got several different things. We've got flatbreads. We've got campanchana, which has got she's having one right here. It's got crab and shrimp in it. We have cork and beans, which are our signature appetizer, which are green beans wrapped in bacon. If you haven't tried those, it doesn't sound like much, but they're awesome. We also have scallops. We have spinach artichoke dip. So we got quite a few different things there. And the card that they gave you, give it to your server, and it's on us.
And Jeff, this is you've just recently opened this or reopened this. How long has it been now?
About 6 months.
And you welcome, I'm sure, Cardinal fans down here not only Saturdays after the game, but all the time.
Any day.
I was here early today. You weren't serving breakfast. I know you serve lunch. What would you recommend to folks to have?
We have a Kobe beef burger. If you haven't tried it, it's Bicklemeyer's in Kansas City, Kansas takes Kobe brisket and coarse grinds it for us. We serve it on a Wolferman's English muffin with Gruyere cheese and a bacon onion marmalade. It's to die for.
All right, Jeff Woods, everybody. Give it up for Jeff, the owner of Cork and Brew. And now let's settle down and talk some football, Coach Cruzy. Let's talk about this first win of the year, first win on the very first weekend of GLVC conference football play. That's a kind of a special deal.
Yeah, and I want to thank Jeff, too, and his wife for letting us come in here, and Cindy, who manages it, and all the things that they're doing for us, letting us have it here. But as I told the players after the game, and we talked about towards the end of the week, this is historic. This is a historic win because of the fact that this is our first. William Jewell's been in the last conference for a long, long time, and have had a lot of success there through the years. And, this is a historic win because this is the first win, our first opportunity to play in the new conference, and we got a win out of it. And it's historic, and I'm so happy for the players.
Yeah, very much so. And again, congratulations to all of you guys. And I'm going to get Tim Crone to weigh in here on his take on this game. Tim?
Well, I tell you what, I think where the program is right now, it's really important that everybody understands that a W is a W, and that's all that matters. How you get there is immaterial. Just look at the crowd like I talked about before. This is you hear me all the time on the radio and TV talk about it's a building process. It takes a lot of cement, and Coach has got everybody going in the right direction, and this is another positive thing for everybody. So, once again, I'm looking forward to it, and I think we're good. By the way, should I use my trivia question?
We can wait.
Well, okay, I'll wait on the trivia question.
All right, let's talk about the game itself. First quarter, Kentucky Wesleyan gets an early field goal. What are you thinking at that point?
Honestly, I'm trying to remember the first quarter. So much happened between the first quarter and what happened at the end of the game that I'm not really in my head, and that's the crazy thing about doing these things right after the game. I haven't had a chance to process it all yet because it was running over here to get going with this. But they're a good football team. They're 1-0 coming into this thing in Division II play, and they moved the ball down the field, kicked the field goal, and got on the board. We had to make some adjustments, early on to slow them down a little bit.
Their offense surprised you? I did not expect them to move the ball as well as they did.
That quarterback, and we've talked about this all week, and our players know this. He's tough now. I mean, he is as tough a customer as you'll see about being able to get back up and keep playing. And he's a smart kid. And when you got a guy back there like that, and you got a couple receivers you can throw it to that were as good as number 8 and number 7 were, then you got a chance to pick some people apart in some things, and especially as quickly as he was getting rid of the ball.
Yeah, they used those underneath routes quite a bit the entire game, but especially in that first quarter. Were you surprised by that?
We may need to turn the mic up a little bit for the speaker up for the back a little bit. I don't think they can hear it back there.
In a moment.
And ask your question again. I'm sorry.
Well, were you surprised that they used so many underneath routes?
I don't know if surprise is the right word. They went to what works best for them, and that was working for them. We made an adjustment at halftime to adjust our coverage a little bit to further combat that, and we did a nice job with it in the second half, but they caught us on some things early, and we didn't break on the ball as well, and some other things there.
Okay, so it's 3-0, and then the play. Tell me about Sean's run toward the end zone. What did you see? What did you say? Cut out maybe parts of it, but let's just talk about the play.
Talking about Sean's run there, that in my mind, as I saw it, and I had a really good view of it, as I saw it, he reaches over the end line. It's just him. He's by himself. He reaches over the end line, puts the ball about 8 inches inside the end line or the goal line, and then the ball hits the ground, comes out. It's a touchdown in my mind. Obviously, the officials, as they told me, they didn't see it. But they're human too, and I understand that. But what they understood was, they knew they made a mistake there, and it's unfortunate. And those things are going to happen. What I'm most proud of our guys is because that's a 14-point swing early in the game, and just how a younger team overcomes that. it's hard to overcome 14 points. And they did a great job of coming back after that and continuing to play. We took another drive down on offense and scored, and we got a little bit of momentum going into halftime, and the onside kick that we kicked to start the second half was been playing since Tuesday. Coach Weigel does a great job with the film, and we knew it was there. The guys were lining up on the hash. We knew it was there, and we did a great job. Warren does a great job of executing it, and our guys on the kickoff team. We needed to get momentum back at that point. Even though we didn't score on that drive, we dampened some of their momentum and got a little of our own, and that allowed us to do some better things in the second half.
Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the positive things, and we always like to dwell on that. You did some things, I think, particularly on the offensive line, that were real successful. You had a lot of good drives, were able to run the football, really open up the passing game later on when you needed it.
Yep. No, I think we did a really nice job there. And what people don't realize, some of the guys in here know, obviously, because they're part of it and their parents know, but we're beat up on the offensive line right now, especially at the guard position. And we're rotating guys in there and trying to keep guys healthy. And they did a really nice job. There's some guys that had better games on the ground this week than maybe what they've had in the past. Phil Ankar came out and did some good things, and some of the other guys as well. But it doesn't work without those guys up front on both sides of the ball.
Well, let's talk about the growth of our defense. We played two really tough opponents early in the season. Played Mines, and then we had to come back and play Western. And I really thought that the defense really improved this week.
We did. If you really look at it, we gave up a touchdown or 10 points really defensively. But we've had to make those adjustments. We're young. We've got 7 guys starting on defense that are sophomores or younger, and we've got to be able to make those plays. We've got to be able to make those plays and execute them, and we did a lot better job of that today. The long touchdown off of the phantom fumble where it's a 14-point swing, that one counts against the defense.
You calling that the phantom fumble?
I don't know what it is.
I like it.
That's what it is in my mind. I kept telling the official in the second half what the score was in my head, and he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Actually, I thought we were going to have to get a surgeon to get you out of his ear the entire ball game.
You know what? It was to their credit, they took it. They knew that after it happened, they knew that there was a misstep there, and they took it. And I did it the right way. I just wanted to make sure that they understand how many people they affect when those things happen, and they do. Listen, I'm not one to ever get too cross with officials, but when you take things away from a team that's fighting really hard, it's hard to swallow.
You bet it is. Kids work hard, and you want to on that deal.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Try to mic up and have a speaker here so all the folks here, and there are a number of people here, Cork and Brew, we're packing the place, and so that's what the feedback is that you're here. We're going to take a break here in just a moment. We'll bring a couple of players up, but first of all, anything else you want to ask about the game here?
No, I think we'll just go right into it and get the kids up here and let them talk about the football game. That's
all right,
important.
Let's do that. We're going to take a little bit of a break, back with more in a moment from the Cork and Brew on the Square in Liberty.
Who's serving up a big breakfast this weekend?
On an endless buffet, a juicy steak.
Don't flip out. Only Golden Corral would include steak for breakfast. It's on our endless weekend breakfast buffet, all for a great low price. Only at Golden Corral.
Visit Golden Corral in Liberty, Olathe, and Sedalia.
Hi, this is Kurt again with MetroFreeStuff.com. Please check us out today for all the local businesses we support here in the Liberty area. We have over 10 businesses and we're growing each day. Visit us today at www.metrofreestuff.com. One of our frees, a big free in 2012, is our free networking events that we're hosting for local community organizations and small businesses. Come join us today. Visit www.metrofreestuff.com to find out more.
Hello, I'm Joel Lucan, the Associate Athletic Director here at William Jewell College. I'd like to invite everybody to come out and play golf on Friday, September 28th for the 22nd Annual Cardinal Classic Golf Tournament. Registration starts at 8:30. Everyone who participates this year receives a stadium chair with the Jewel Jaybird logo on it. So just come out and interact and have some fun and play some golf on Friday, September 28th out at Cardinal Hill.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm a CEO A chief everything officer? My job duties include everything from business development to ordering paper clips. And with my schedule, I can't wait around for my mail and packages to be delivered. So, how do I handle it all? Logistics.
I'm Shauna from the UPS store, and our mailbox services are designed for people like Mike. We'll keep your mail safe and confidential, even sign for packages. And if you like, send an email or text alert when they arrive.
While I'm taking care of my clients, the UPS store is taking care of my mail.
Chief Everything Officers love logistics. With mailbox services at the UPS store, your business gets a real street address, and we can notify you when a package arrives. To find a location near you, visit theupsstore.com. Services, prices, and hours vary by location. See Center for details.
The UPS store, 5510 Northeast Antioch Road in North Kansas City.
When it comes to your health, nothing matters more to us at Hy-Vee.
We do diabetes screenings, cholesterol checks, and make sure you understand your medication. And with 400 generic prescriptions for just $4,
we'll make sure you stay healthy and happy.
Your Hy-Vee pharmacy,
where convenience meets care.
Back at the Cork and Brew in downtown Liberty on the square, and we welcome you back here, those of you that are listening at home. We have got a pair of Seans and a Caleb that are going to visit with us. Sean Weigel is with us first, and I think we'll start, though, with Sean Shelton. How about Sean today? 4 touchdown passes, career high in college, I believe, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm sure we're going to talk about the interception at the end as well.
Sure.
But how does it feel to get that first win?
Oh, it feels great, especially the way we did it. It wasn't always where we could win those close games, and it's a good team. A good team wins games like that, and that's what we've become. That's what we're going to continue to become. In recent past, it might not have turned out the way we wanted it to, but it's a testament to our guys and the character of the guys on this team, and the building process that we can overcome stuff like that. The pick at the end of the game, the fumble in the end zone, that return. It's just all this adversity that we can overcome, and that's what embodies a good team.
And going to put you on the record here. Were you in the end zone or not?
I thought I was in. Unfortunately, I wasn't the one with the whistle and the flags and the stripes. So, but yes, I think I was in.
So you didn't think you were down. You actually thought you scored the touchdown.
Well, I was definitely down, without a doubt, but I thought I was in as well.
We were all the way across the field on the interception. What happened on that play?
What it was a game route with Johnny and I, just trying to get one-on-one coverage like we do all the time. They were giving us a slant, so I called a slant. But in hindsight, the guys with the backs against the wall is going to jump anything. And
sorry again for the feedback.
No problem. And John made one cut, and the guy made a good play and jumped it. So as soon as I threw it, did I want to take it back? Absolutely. But you got to throw in timing, and he just made a good play.
Well, he also made a couple of plays that turned out to be pretty good. The one that you threw kind of falling backwards, he made a heck of a grab on. Did you actually see it?
No, I did not get the opportunity to go see that one. But I look forward to watching it on film.
You were slow getting up. How hard did you get hit?
It was one of those ones where you just kind of laid there and self-evaluated yourself and made sure everything wasn't immediately hurting, and so it was just kind of like I just had to lay there and make sure I was okay. But I've been hit harder, so it's nothing new.
Well, probably the biggest play in the game, and people here really don't realize it, is when you did throw the interception, you made the tackle, and when you came in, you need to tell the fans what your response was to me.
There's no way he was scoring. There's no way.
He became a quarterback to a linebacker very quickly.
There was not a chance in hell he was scoring. So.
He was a free safety in high school.
Yeah, he was. I point that out. Coach Cruzy points out he was a free safety in high school. Sean Shelton, congratulations. Big win, big day for you, and it's a good day to be a Cardinal.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you
Big
very much.
round of applause for the quarterback. Good job, buddy.
Caleb Sims is also here with us. Huge interception today. Congratulations on that. Tell us about the interception.
We knew we had to get a stop. There were about 4 minutes left. We knew we had to make a stop. We ran the corner route. He threw it. I know Coach is always talking about making a play, so I just went out there and just tried to make a play.
I flash back to last year. We had a late interception against them. Did you think about that at all, about the late interception last year?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in those last minutes, it's always going to come down to who wants it more and who wants to grit it out in the last couple minutes. And, I just tried to help my team make a play. So.
Well, they did a lot of two-step quick stuff all day long. Right. The 2 balls that he threw deep, I don't know if you realize, and that was a deep corner he threw on you, was 2 interceptions. He couldn't stretch the field very well. He had trouble with that, but he was very accurate underneath. The bubble screen, the slot screen, the split screen. I really felt like, the question is, didn't you feel like they really ran that offense well?
Well, in the first half, they ran the offense pretty well. We made some adjustments, came out second half, and we just had to make some stops. And we did, so it was good.
Big interception, my man. Big interception.
Thank you.
Caleb Sims, everybody. Congratulations. Thank you, Caleb. I want to introduce you to a young man who is helping us produce this show. Blake Terrence is from Blue Springs High School. He is a junior, and he's going to ask you a question here, but let's go to Sean Weigel. Sean is the special teams coach for the Cardinals, the co-head coach for the Redbirds. Congratulations on the win, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a good one.
Yeah, and
any win's a good one.
And if you haven't watched or listened, we have a deal set up where we're supposed to go to Sean at the end of the half, and I completely blew it. So my public apology for not going down to you at the end of the half. I know you're a media guy, so
I'm not going to let you off the hook that easy, Rick.
Sean's also a Western Nebraska guy, and so am I. So it's good. Tell us about special teams today. You had the punting game. At times the snaps were a little more off, the one especially. But overall, were you pleased with things today?
Yeah, I mean, we won the football game, so we evidently didn't kill us in that situation. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things, not fielding kickoffs when we were getting the high pooch stuff. That's miscommunication on my part, and we need to get that cleaned up. We were trying to make some adjustments on the sideline there, and that those things can't happen. We need to fair catch it. And we thought it was going a little bit deeper than it was, but and the snap, Thomas hadn't had a bad snap all season, and he had a low one, and we had a true freshman punter out there, and sometimes there's some nervousness when those things happen. It's one of those situations where it happened, and we just got to come back and hopefully rectify it.
Well, I think one of the strengths today, Coacher, is that your return game, the punt return game, other than not catching the fair catch, which cost us 15 yards at a key time, but also the kickoff return, we were pretty solid most of the time. And I see some added speed that we haven't had in years past back there.
Yeah, we're trying to put some kids back there that we think can get vertical in a hurry. And, that's how you cancel out angles when you see some other teams that can run. We felt good going into it, that we'd have some opportunities in the return game to maybe get Thomas Cook or Chris Smith and Colby Fowles, or get those guys loose a little bit, and we got the ball out the 30-yard line every time.
Pretty consistently.
Yeah, and that's we want to break one, and that's going to happen.
But make it a lot easier for all of us, buddy, if you break one.
No doubt.
When you and Jared, when Jared took the head coaching job and he asked you to join him in kind of that capacity, you guys really put an emphasis on special teams. Could you talk about the evolution of the special teams game here at Jewel in the last 3 years?
Yeah, it's we were very fortunate early on, and I appreciate Coach Cruzy giving me an opportunity to do this, and I embraced it. But we had an NFL coach come in the first camp we had together, and Coach Rodriguez, he did a fantastic job of teaching me what to look for, and got real passionate about it. It's easy to get when you have someone of that caliber to get buy-in in a hurry with your players, and we've had that. It's been something we put an emphasis on, and hopefully it will continue to pay off. We have a lot of fun with it. The expectations are high. They got to understand it's one snap that you're out there, and it's either a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the last play on the field goal. You had a field goal defense in there, and you made a couple big plays. I know it was a bad snap, but the kids, when they hollered fire, everybody knew where to go.
Yeah, we have there's some built-in protections in there, but we are in all-out block mode. I mean, we were all-out block mode, and we were going to get that thing, and the fire ended up actually happening to the side that we had our blast and our edge coming
which worked
from.
good.
Yeah, and so he had to bubble, and caused a little more time there, and we recovered good, and the cover-up guys did a fantastic job of getting that thing on the ground, and sure was excited to see that ball hit the turf.
Oh, me too. The last minute and a half was, took a lot of hair, what's left, off of both of our heads.
Well, no doubt.
All of our heads.
Because you think you're either going to be in a situation where you're going to have to punt,
right,
and you don't want to do that with under a minute left, because so many things can go wrong with it, or now you're in a field goal block situation. So, I don't know, it worked out.
Hey, Sean, I got to ask you, for people that don't know, what kind of player does it take to play on special teams? Give me some of the qualities of a special teams, outstanding special teams player.
They need to be selfless. Okay, they're going to be tired a lot of times. Just come off of a snap where a play happened that wasn't positive. They got to be able to forget about that stuff, and they got to be blue-collar kids, go to work.
You bet.
That's what we're.
And it's 1/3 of the game that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks for joining us. Sean Weigel, the assistant head coach for the Cardinals, special teams coach, and congratulations again on the win today. We will give you a chance to ask some questions of Coach Cruzy here in a moment. We're at the Cork and Brew, downtown Kansas City. For those of you waiting on food, they tell us that because we have so many people here, the food is a little bit slow coming out because they have so many orders in the kitchen. So please be patient. We're not in any hurry to leave here, and we thank the Cork and Brew again for having us in. And we'll take a break. Come back with more from the Cork and Brew on our postgame show with head coach Jared Cruzy coming up next.
Hi, this is Kurt with MetroFreeStuff.com, talking to you today about another one of our free features. One of our frees, a big free in 2012, is our free networking events that we're hosting for local community organizations and small businesses. Our free networking events are open to any local business owner or community organization leaders. Find us on Facebook. Let's make 2012 a great year. Come join us today. Visit www.metrofreestuff.com to find out more.
Foreclosure, repossession, garnishment. Costello and Farah can fight for you.
Are creditors threatening to take your property or your money? My office has helped thousands of people in the Kansas City area protect their assets through debt reorganization or bankruptcy protection. Call my office at 816-505-HELP and see if we can help you protect your assets and get you back on your feet.
The attorneys of Costello and Farah, lawyers who will fight for you. Call 816-505-HELP today.
Hello, I'm Joel Lucan, the Associate Athletic Director here at William Jewell College. I'd like to invite everybody to come out and play golf on Friday, September 28th for the 22nd Annual Cardinal Classic Golf Tournament. Registration starts at 8:30. Everyone who participates this year receives a stadium chair with the Jewel Jaybird logo on it. So just come out and interact and have some fun and play some golf on Friday, September 28th out at Cardinal Hill.
At Poor Boy Oil Company, we want to meet people interested in joining our family. Employment benefits include paid vacations, health care, life insurance, and 401k plans. If you are growth-oriented, flexible, focused on high quality, analytical, and have common sense, you have what it takes. If you are interested in exploring a career opportunity with Poor Boy Oil Company, please take a moment to apply online at poorboyoil.com.
Hy-Vee may not look like your traditional pizza parlor, but you should think of Hy-Vee when it comes to great pizza. Pick a pie made to order with fresh ingredients in your choice of crusts. Or try a specialty pizza like bacon cheeseburger or buffalo chicken. And whether you order in, carry out, or take to bake, you'll find Hy-Vee pizzas are one of the best deals in town. So the next time you want pizza, try Hy-Vee. You might just discover your new favorite pizzeria.
All right, we're back at the Cork and Brew with head coach Jared Cruzy, Tim Crone, Mark Morrell, Blake Terrence, and myself, Rick Cole, as we are live here. And Tim is next to Coach Cruzy again. Let's talk just a little bit more about the game, then we'll get on to some questions for Coach Cruzy.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about I was a little bit surprised about their defensive line. I thought that they did a pretty good job, but you were able to kind of wear them down, I think, particularly at the end.
You know, they did a really nice job. They played extremely hard the whole game. You know, we were able to get in some situations where we gave the plays to Sean on the field and pressed the pace on them a little bit and wore them down a little bit there and had some nice drives. And we did some things, Coach Majors in and out of play calls and the way we varied our pace that they struggled with a little bit in the second half, which was really, really good. But, those guys played their guts out the whole game. And they rotated them in, as you noticed, and kept those guys as fresh as they
played a lot of substitution games. I noticed that you were going a lot of nickel, and then with 4 down linemen, you guys were just consistently playing that game.
Yeah, they were in basically 2 different personnel groups. And as we talk about personnel groups, we talk about 10, 11, 20, 21, 12. The first number is how many backs there are. Second number is how many tight ends there are. So they were in a lot of 10 personnel, which is 1 back, 0 tight ends. And when we were in that, we were in a 3-4 type look, or a 3-4 nickel look, or a 4-3 nickel look. When they were in 11 personnel, we were in our base 4-3 look, and a little bit of 3-4 versus as well. But so that was the substitution changes. You saw us change defenses late a lot as far as personnel, just because they were messing with us on the other side, because they were trying to figure out what personnel we were going to be in to figure out what they wanted to be in. It's that give and take you're going to see all the time, and our players did a tremendous job with it. Offensively, we do a good job of getting in and out of different personnel groups. You saw us anywhere from 22 personnel, which is a heavier set.
You had a bunch of
2 tight ends, 2 backs,
right?
And and then you saw us all the way to 10 personnel, which is 1 back and 4 wide receivers and no tight ends. So we did a good job on both sides of the ball, I thought, of varying the personnel groups. And Coach Weigel does a good job in special teams of changing up the look versus different things we're seeing there as well.
You bet.
All right, folks, if you have a question for Coach Cruzy, you can step up here and I'll let you ask that. But first, I know Blake Terrence has a question for Coach, and so fire away, Blake.
Coach, related to the play where Sean threw the pick later in the game, is that kind of just what exactly was running through your head? What made you, what influenced the decision to throw there? Because I guess you could have easily, ran it. You might not have gotten the first down, but you could have ran a lot of time off the clock and punted for field position, and the only thing that stands between you and the victory is the Hail Mary. So what exactly influenced your decision to throw there?
Blake, that's the $1 million question I guarantee everybody in here wants to know. And
we talked about it on the way over.
No, and here's the thing there, okay? We got our number 1 long snapper hurt, all right, in halfway through or end of the third quarter. So we were doing some things with a guy who hadn't snapped as much this year in games. And they'd done some things on some field goal block stuff that was a little nervous, made me a little bit nervous. We needed to have a first down there. We needed to have a first down there to keep from being backed up and potentially having to operate, punt, and some of those things. Not that we don't trust those other guys that are in there as substitutions, but Sean liked the play. It'd been there all week, been there all game as far as us throwing and catching that one. The corner made a tremendous play on it, and we'd all like to have it back, but those things are going to happen in a game. But that was my thought process. I didn't in any way want to punt backed up in that situation, because block punts at end of a game like that, it's hard to tackle a guy and get him down. Does that make sense? So that's a tremendous question, and that was the thought process, and that's what people don't understand sometimes, is that injuries influence those decisions as much as anything. Coach Majors liked the call, Sean liked the call. We threw it. 9 times out of 10 we're going to throw and catch that thing. The corner made a heck of a play on it. We got him on the ground, and we got out of the game on a couple big plays later.
Folks, let me introduce you to Mark Morrell, who is our sideline reporter. He's also the voice of Rockhurst University basketball in the wintertime. And Mark, I know you have a question for Coach.
Yeah, Coach, just a couple of questions at halftime. Just talk a little bit about what you were talking about with your team. And then also about your drive late in the game for offense to come down. Last couple of games we had trouble in the red zone, but you guys came down and then scored and then got that all-important 2 as well. Talk about a little bit about
that's a main thing for us every week at halftime. We're going to go in there and we're going to try and adjust things to give us a better chance to be successful in the second half. The only thing we have to go off of going into a game is what they've done in prior games, the film we have from prior games. So that's what we have to work off of. Every team's going to have some sort of things that they bring new or different things that they're going to do in those games, coming into the game. So we don't get to see all that until the first half of our game, and then it's about how you make adjustments during the game, and then again at halftime that allows you to be more successful in the second half. So to answer your question, there was a lot of things we talked about, offensively, defensively, and special teams. from an adjustment standpoint to play better in all of those areas in the second half. And they're doing the same thing on their side. And credit to them, we're all, it's a big chess match all the way down the board, and everybody's trying to be one step ahead of their opponent. And we were fortunate enough to be able to make some good adjustments at halftime today that allowed us to, have some success, defensively and special teams in the red zone on offense, and those things were exciting to see.
We're live at the Cork and Brew on the square in Liberty, and Jared Cruzy is with us. Tim, I know we talked off the air a couple of times about things that happened during the game, but it was back and forth there at the end. And as an old coach, what are you thinking at this point?
I think that where the program is at now, it's simply a W, and that's what the way you need to look at. And we need to start thinking about Dakota School of Mines and be ready to move on, because it's the first win. We broke the ice.
No doubt about it. And here's the thing that people, I think, realize now that we're at the game, a younger team like us to overcome a 14-point swing when that happened.
A particularly emotional thing like the fumble recovery.
It's hugely emotional when that happened. And the people that are longtime Jewel people that have been around for the last 20 years realize that here at William Jewell in the last 20 years or so, even maybe a little bit before then, games that came down to making a play at the end haven't necessarily gone in our favor in the last 20 years. What I was the most excited about, what I'm going to, take the most out of this game was just how much heart we played with at the end, and that when we needed to make a play to win the football game, we made it and sealed it, kneeled on it, and got out of the game. And that was huge to see, because that hasn't happened here in a long, long time. And that's a credit to our players and their resiliency of overcoming adversity, in the first half and beginning of the second half, and even adversity at the end in some stretch of the imagination, and making a play when we needed to have a play made.
Well, I know one area me and you talk about, and we're going to touch upon this on Monday on the coaches show, is in the red zone offense, we shined today, particularly in the second half, dog. We ate.
Yeah. No, and that was something we've talked about, and as a team, and defensive, we needed to do some things. Special teams, we needed to do some things, and offensively, our Achilles heel has been, when we get in the red zone, having the confidence and knowing we're going to put in the end zone. And we did a whole lot better at that today, and that's exciting. I'm going to say we did it every time, because in my head, like I told the officials, I reminded them all the way through the second half of what the score should be in my head, not what the score was on the scoreboard, just to remind them that I was still frustrated about that. But we scored, I'm pretty sure, every time we were in the red zone today.
Yeah.
And we put the ball in the end zone every time we're in the red zone, and that is huge for us going forward.
Well, there's a difference in the ball game, no question about it. You were able to execute when you needed to, and that was a real growth for your program.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I couldn't be more excited for our players right now and the way they responded today. And, we'll have to get back in the meeting room tomorrow and get things lined out and, get guys healed up, because we'll leave Thursday for South Dakota Mines. Our players don't know that until just now. We'll leave Thursday for South Dakota Mines, and we'll drive up there to Rapid City, South Dakota, to play another good Division II team up there. So I don't know how they did today. I know they struggled in their first two, but it's a new coaching staff up there as well, and they're doing some good things. I know what they're doing offensively. Some of the other coaches have told me, and they'll be a handful, especially at home.
But again, I think we got a good streak going. Rick?
Hey, Tim, I know you've got a T-shirt to give away here. Do you want to get to that?
Yeah, I've got a trivia question.
All right, got a trivia question for Coach Crone.
For a T-shirt. What year did the Cardinals play in the national championship game? Give me the year.
What year did the Cardinals play for the national championship in football? Who knows?
First one. Do you know?
1959 is incorrect.
No. Anybody else have a guess?
Got to have a guess. Last time the Cardinals played in the national championship.
1968?
No. Sorry.
Well, can I give them a hint? I'll give you a hint. Their team was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year.
Jim, do you know? You're close. 80's close. No. 1982.
The young lady.
My friend.
Very good.
Thank you. Coach, Coach, you talked about South Dakota. What else do we know about going up there? You talked about leaving on Thursday.
Yeah.
I know you're big into education as a whole. What do you got planned for the guys? Or is it still kind of a secret?
Yeah, I don't know what we'll do. We've got to get there, and we'll get there in spurts this week just because of how long of a trip it is. We'll leave Thursday afternoon and go part way and get a good night's sleep and walk through the next morning. The nice thing is we practice. Our general routine is to practice on Thursday mornings at 6 a.m., so we'll have Thursday practice out of the way, and that gives them a little more recovery on their bodies. But we'll leave Thursday, and we'll get part way, and then we'll stay, and we'll head the rest of the way on Friday. It'll be a nice trip. We'll all dread the trip coming back because we'll drive it straight through coming back.
And it is a night game, too.
It is. It's at 5 o'clock up there, which is actually 6 o'clock our time because they're in the mountain time zone. So we'll get up there and be ready to go by then and hopefully be healed up, which you always look for by the time you get to Saturday, and get going hopefully up there and hopefully get number 2.
Hey, it's been a fast 45 minutes. We thank you all for listening. For those of you that are here, again, please feel free to stick around. Jared Cruzy has been our guest with Tim Crone, Mark Morrell, Blake Terrence, and we also want to thank Brandon Bulig, who's been working on the PA like a dog, and we appreciate his efforts as well as all the people that showed up here at the Cork and Brew. We will do this again after the homecoming game in 2 weeks, and again, that game against Central State will be 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you. Tim, thank you.
Yeah, and thank everybody for coming tonight. This is a great deal. This is a centralized location for all of us to meet after the game, and we're all talking about the game anyway. We might as well be talking about it together. So thank you all for coming, and look forward to seeing you next weekend.
And congratulations to the Cardinals. And finally, thanks to Jeff Woods and the folks here at Cork and Brew. We will see you next weekend with the broadcast from Rapid City, South Dakota. Thanks for joining us tonight.